Hello everybody, the year is 1937, it is in the Soviet Union and my name is Joseph Stalin. This year we have 58 million families alone in our wonderful country, and every week we are in charge of giving each family one cylindrical can of Tushanka, my favorite, one rectangular prismatic container of spam, and one square pyramid of hash, which is a nice shape for shipping food, if you understand what I'm trying to say. Anyways, the people love spam and hash, so they would notice if they got any less than 2 liters of each. However, the people didn't like the Tushanka very much because it is my favorite and I don't like sharing. So they got between 1 and 1.5 liters. But most of the time we keep it at 1. For shipping purposes, spam had to be twice the width. To help out with this process of figuring out what our dimensions should be so we optimize everything, I will hand it over to my assistant right now.
Okay, my wise overseer of the Republic, we're going to use optimization and calculus to find out how we can use the least amount of materials for these containers for our people. Because we provide for our people. Yet we don't want to waste materials that they are making. Oh, brilliant genius of Soviet Russia, here's how we will start finding the area of a Tushanka can. You look at the volume, which is of course pi r squared h because it is a cylinder. You then look at the surface area, which is 2 pi r h plus 2 pi r squared, and you use those to make one formula. The volume is 1000 cc's, and that is going to equal pi r squared h. Now, my brilliant Stalin, I know that you already know how to do this, but I must explain this to all of the people that will look at it later, so that they can see the sheer genius involved. And that would be yours. So first we start out with this formula, and we solve it for h, as you can see, the height of the cylinder. And from that we can plug that in back to the surface area formula, and get a formula that is 2 pi r times the quantity 1000 over pi times r squared plus 2 pi r squared. And from there we can get the smallest surface area possible through some calculations, going through 2000 over r plus 2 pi r squared, and then solving for the derivative of that, which will get us our first critical point. Now you see, critical points are the points on the graph where it reaches a maximum or a minimum. And as you know, President Stalin, these points will show us where we can use the least amount of materials on these cans of Tushanka. So you can see through some solving that our critical point is at 5.42 10.84. Now that just means that the radius is going to be 5.24 centimeters and the height will be 10.84 centimeters. And that is how you solve a Tushanka can. Just in general, you solve it. Real good. Okay, my wise overseer of the Republic, this is what we will do next. For the spam, we keep it in containers that have a length of 2 times the width and a general rectangular prism structure. And this will give us another formula like we used for Tushanka, which is just 2000 cubic centimeters equals length times width times height. And as you can see here, Mr. Stalin, you do the exact same process for the spam as you did for the Tushanka once you have a formula. You solve it, and you find its derivative for the surface area, and then you simply solve for the critical points. And that is where we find the least amount of material being used, which in this case is at a width of 9.09 centimeters and a height of 12.10 centimeters. The length is twice the width, making it 18.18 centimeters. That is the size that will be using the least amount of material. Finally, my wise leader, we will do the same process for the hash, which is kept in a right square pyramidal structure. And I do not want to bore you with the details, but once again, you find the formula, which in this case is 2000 cubic centimeters equals 1/3 height times width squared. And you continue to go through the same process as you did for the first two containers, finding the formula, taking the derivative, and finding the critical points. I do not want to bore you with the details, because I know that you are the wisest of us all here, Mr. Stalin. However, you can just see the solution, which is that the width and the height will both be 18.17 centimeters.
Давай, ножки. Ножки сделай, ножки. Ножки. Иди ко мне. Дай. Давай.